So, join me up here. So we have a special panel tonight of our Tech Knowledge alumni from our Tech Knowledge B2B Tech Sales course. Many of you don't know, we have a nonprofit technology, which Anna just spoke about. So we have a B2B Tech Sales course, which we've already done 2 cohorts. We're actually in the middle of one right now, and we're actually going to have another one in August, which we'll release more details about soon. So basically what we teach you is everything you need to know to start and thrive in a career in tech sales, which is a growing field. There's a lot of jobs available, some located here, some remote, and it's something that you really don't need any prerequisite experience for. We teach you everything you need to know, and we also work with employers who try to get you placed. So on our panel tonight, we have Brittany Caldwell, we have Estefania, and we have Knowledge, and we're all just gonna have a chat. We're just gonna have a conversation about their experience before the technology program, during it, and after, what they're doing now in the future. So you can join me up here now. Hello. So I guess we should start with Knowledge. I know that you have had some experience in sales across a lot of different industries and companies, so I'm just curious, what are some commonalities that you came across from working in different sales positions? Can you hear me?
So I mean, more so just like, sales is also like a people game. So just understanding people, knowing what they need, why they need it, I think is very important. Like that's just common across anything. It's just knowing why. Like people only buy to solve a problem or like to accomplish a goal. So when you know those 2 reasons of why they're buying it, then you can be able to understand how your product can solve the problem for them or help them accomplish the goal that they want to have.
And just piggybacking on that, Estefania, I know that you work for EY, is that correct? So how does sales knowledge impact your role, and how does that benefit you in the roles that you've had and the role you have now?
Hi everyone, I am Stephanie. I do work at Ernst & Young in tech consulting. I think the biggest learning for me was that sales is a game. I had to learn how to crack my potential buyer's mindset and understand their needs in order to convey to them what I'm trying to sell. Also, it is a people's game, so you gotta be likable. And so I had to, as much as I'm passionate to sell, the work I sell, I also have to understand you gotta be likable so that people will buy from you. So I think that was my biggest takeaway.
And Brittany, you just started a new role in sales, so what are some things that you've already noticed about working in sales?
So yes, my name is Brittany. You guys probably see me around here because, I basically live at Tech Tuesdays. But I did just recently start a position with Go Sprout. I am the lead solution specialist there. I would say the biggest thing that I've picked up so far is just kind of like keeping with that tenacity that I have. Bring that same, even though I have the job, you want to go into the position with that same hunger, right? Because they don't know much about you. All they know is how you look on paper. You were likable in the interview, but you want to bring that same hunger that when you were looking for the job, you have to bring that into the position. You have to prove like, hey, not only do I belong to be here, but I'm really an asset to you. So I would just say stick with that keep that same motivation, that same hunger, whether you get the position or not.
Okay. And Stephanie, you mentioned something that Knowledge also mentions, that you have to be a people person. Is that something that you feel like people can learn, or is that something that people just have to be born with?
That's a great question. I think it's twofold. I mean, I'm an extrovert, so if you're an extrovert, I think that helps a bit. But I do know very successful introverted people because they're able to take the time to recharge when they're not extroverted, to be able to think a little bit more through and be targeted at their interactions. I would say as an extrovert, I'm more like shiny object syndrome, all over the place, here, there. But I think it's learnable. I mean, use your introverted or extrovertness to your advantage. Just learn that from yourself and identify what are some things that you can polish, and I think you should be good. So definitely coachable.
Knowledge, you want to add anything to that one?
Yeah, I would say that I would just piggyback off of what she said. Definitely, depending on your personality, I think also just being true to yourself is important. You don't have to go above and beyond if you're not an extrovert, but you still just, get to know people, connect with them on the way that you can connect with them on, and then just use, that to be able to find a common ground and then build that on what it is that they're trying to solve, and, work that angle. Like service is senior to selling, so if you can service people in any way, shape, or form, whether you're an extrovert or introvert, people are going to pay more for service than they even do for the product.
And while you have the mic, Knowledge, you work for a Grant Cardone company, right?
Yeah.
So what is that like? And maybe tell the audience a little bit about Grant Cardone for people that don't know.
Okay. So yeah, for those of you that don't know who Grant Cardone is, he's a multi-billionaire. He has over $5.2 billion worth of assets in real estate. Has over 9 businesses doing over 150 million. So it is a very high intense environment. We work on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. If we have events, so he performs, so you're required to perform as well too. But you learn a lot about sales. You learn a lot about what it really takes to be successful. We sell real estate programs, we sell business programs. So we sell a lot of different things and events, tickets, things like that. So you just learn a lot about sales, a lot about business, understanding people's buying motives, how people buy, why they buy, different things like that. As far as well too, just like understanding the mindset of that you control. Like a lot of people don't know, like if you get objections in sales, we always say you create the objection. So if you wait for things in your life, you don't, pay things full time, full price, you might do payment plans, and that's the type of customers you're gonna get. So it's just about having the mindset and mentality of like the way I do things is the way it's gonna attract back to me. So we say you're either a creator or a victim, and that's just the mentality that we have here, and that's what the environment is all about, just creating your own reality.
And Brittany, so I think a lot of people have this idea about what it's like to work in sales, and they get their ideas from movies or TV shows, or just hearing from other people that have been working in sales for a very long time and getting that perspective. But what is your perspective that you would share with someone that's not sure whether or not a career in sales is right for them?
Yeah, I would say don't pay attention to the movies. This is not Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, that guy, he did a lot. But no, I would say as far as sales, don't be afraid of big goals. Don't be afraid of pushing yourself past the boundaries. I personally, we're talking extrovert, introvert. I personally say I'm an introvert. I will have a whole gang of people argue that with me, because the side of me that they see is the side where I'm asking questions. I want you to talk. I want to get to know you. I want to know, when it comes to sales, it's about pain point. It's about knowing your client. How can you solve their problem? Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to spend money, right? But why should they spend money? Because you're there to solve their problem. They're investing into getting a solution. So I always say, like, when it comes to sales, you really just kind of push yourself past those comfort zones. Get uncomfortable. As far as my journey, I had to get super uncomfortable because I'm not from Miami. I'm from Philly. Shout out to Philly. But I had no idea about, the scene down here, the network. I didn't have anyone. All my family is back in Philly. So that required me to come out to networking events where a lot of times the people didn't look like me, but I got uncomfortable. And in those moments of being uncomfortable and pushing myself, that was where I was able to see success, personal growth, and at the end of the day, really just, rock a sales position. The position I have now is because he was able to gather information from other people that said, oh yeah, I see Brittany all the time. Like, yeah, she's a hard worker. Like, yeah, she's all over the place. She's not afraid to talk to people. And a lot of times in a sales position, it's really about, can you talk to someone? That guy or girl you're on the phone with, they don't know anything about you. All they know is that first impression. So make sure it counts, you know?
Good job.
So Stephanie, you work for an accounting firm, but you took the tech sales course. So I'm just curious, what was the reasoning behind that? What are some things you learned that you still use in your current role?
So the real reason why I took the course is because I'm a very curious person, which has taken me very far, and I suggest all of you to do the same. I'm not afraid to ask a lot of questions, and my teachers from that course and my cohort classmates could tell you. So I took the course because I was curious. I'm not directly on the sales side, although I do negotiate contracts. I don't sell on a daily basis, but I think for me, the course was a way to understand a little more the sales mindset, how to crack the code with my curiosity to find the real pain points of my clients. And it's a little different for me because I speak to a lot of like multi-million companies. So being able to understand the sales and scale that to selling it to a multi-million-dollar company CEO was the value there. So understanding the buyer and the seller's mindset. And I'll never forget this exercise, which was the cold calling exercise that we had during our class. It really helped me practice and tested me on like fast comebacks. And although in the corporate environment where I work is not as fast paced, now I use that knowledge to be able to predict in sales calls or negotiation how I can respond quick. So those were the two big takeaways, and really I encourage you, if you haven't taken the course and you're curious like me, please do. Ask a lot of questions regardless of who it is to, and you'll get very far.
Awesome. So I have two questions for all of you, and then we'll open up the floor for questions from the audience. So my first question is, you all seem very confident and organized and ambitious. Was that something that you learned, or was that something you always felt like you were from growing up?
I'm still working on the organized part. I mean, I did play sports, so being able to just adapt to different things has definitely been something I've learned growing up. But I just feel like the environments that you put yourself in, like taking the technology course, learning more about different things, just showing, like we always say too, the rule number one to success is just to show up. As long as you show up, you can do something. So just showing up, putting yourself in certain environments can give you the confidence. And then so who you surround yourself with. Like if you surround yourself with people that are confident, that are doing good things, eventually you're gonna pick up those same type of habits.
The question is, you all seem very confident, ambitious, and organized. Is that something you learned, or something you always felt you had?
That's a good question. This is being honest, but I'm getting to a point. I don't think I'm that confident. What I think though is my curiosity, and I know I mentioned that before, but I think being curious about something makes you seem confident because you're chasing that thing and you're asking questions and you're not giving up. So I have to say I'm very disciplined and perseverant, but I think if you feel you're not confident, find something that you really like or want to learn about and enjoy. And I'm telling you, the moment you spark a conversation about that, people can tell you're passionate and it'll just go from there. So I would say that's for me.
So I'm going to ask you to repeat that question one more time. I was really enthralled in her answer.
Is confidence, ambition, or an organization something, are all those things that you learned or felt that were qualities that you always had?
I feel to a certain extent, you have to have a little bit of that fire in you, right? Me personally, I'm one of 5. I didn't really have much of a choice growing up. It was like, we needed stuff done. My mom was constantly working. So I kind of already had that hustler spirit in me. But to a certain extent, you have to grow, right? Anything worth having requires you to go through obstacles. It requires challenges. And so, yeah, you have to invest in yourself. Are you willing? Are you willing to start being more ambitious? Are you willing to start going out there and networking? So yeah, invest in yourself. If there's a goal you have, you're not going to get it sitting around. Nobody's coming up to you saying, hey, we would love to give you a job that pays 6 figures. You know, we just saw you, you know, walking there, and we just thought, that lady, she needs a lot of money. That's not gonna happen. I wish it did. Really wish it did. But at the end of the day, you have to be willing to step out of the boundaries. You have to be willing to invest in yourself. You have to have that hunger and ambition. Even if you got a little bit, if you're gonna reach your goals, you gotta turn that to turbo. Like, it's not gonna happen. Set yourself apart, right? All the time I look out and I see people networking and whatnot. The people that usually have everyone else going up to them are the people that aren't afraid to be loud, right? Introduce yourself. Ask the questions. What do? Find the common ground. At the end of the day, you are the only person that's going to get you where you need to be. So how much are you willing to put in the work? How much are you willing to step outside your comfort zone? If it's a lot, you're going to see a lot of success out of that. If you're willing to play it safe, then you're really gambling.
Awesome. So my last question is, if someone's wondering if they should take the B2B tech sales course, and given that you've all taken it, what's one word that describes your experience that would help them understand what it's like and if they should take it?
That's one word is hard, but I would say, I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind is just like adventure. I think it was definitely like just something that we just learned. You know, like you learn more about B2B sales. You learn, you know, how to network with different people. Learn about how to grow a company. You know, Hillman did that exercise with us on like if we were the persons creating, you know, the technology or the product, what would that look like? And how can you understand the advantages, the disadvantages, and the benefits? So I just think like just being able to have adventure, the people you meet. So just those different things in itself, like that's what it was just like an adventure.
If I were to say one word, I would probably say community. I can't lie to you, I like to dabble in different things. So I've taken courses before, I've done boot camps before. This is the first time where I've been in a program where I felt like they had my back, that they wanted to see me win. And when I say that, I mean everyone involved. It's about community. There's someone you need resume help? Okay, let's try to put you in touch with someone to get you resume help. Oh, you have a question about, you know, other positions in tech industry? Let's get someone on the line to talk to you about your options. You're not going to find this kind of sense of community. I haven't found it anywhere else. You have people like Hillman who will literally take your call. I mean, don't push it, but he will literally take your call at like 9 o'clock at night because you're like, okay, hey Hillman, like I'm in this job and you know this is my goal. What is your advice? He is that kind of person. He wants to see you win. With the source, you got Tech Knowledge, but you also have Tech Tuesdays. Take advantage of Tech Tuesdays. I cannot stress this enough, especially the Tech Knowledge students. Tech Tuesdays is where you're going to come and mingle with the people that you need to have in your network. I cannot stress that enough. But absolutely take the tech sales class. If anything, you're leaving with a little more knowledge. You're leaving with a community. You're leaving with someone who believes that Black and brown people should be in positions where we can pull each other up. And if that's not something you can get behind, I don't know what we're talking about here. But absolutely, it's a one-of-a-kind experience. It changed my life. I would not be where I am and who I am today if not for that experience, if not for that community and the mentorship that I've received through that program, and it's invaluable.
It's kind of hard to beat that, but retweet. But I would say for me it was perspective. I mean, like, what do you have to lose if you learn something new, right? Especially for those of you who are looking for something different from what you're doing, and especially as the world transitions even more into technology and even more with the wave of AI, which, as you all know, is very important. I would say dare to try something different, dare to delve into a world that provides you with a lot of opportunities, with flexibility, a lot of remote jobs nowadays, and very high-paying careers. And for me, you know, the course is an opportunity to provide you with a tech foundation. And I was talking to someone about this a little earlier, like, delve into a world that you get paid a lot of money and you can diversify so that you can construct the future you want to live. So think about don't think about the next year, think about the next 5-10 years. Who do I want to be? How much money I want to have in my bank account? How many investments do I want to have? What's my path? Let me go into a career that pays me well so I can diversify. So definitely perspective, I would say for me.
That's awesome. So adventure, community, and perspective. That's great. So thank you all. Now we're going to open up for questions. Who has a question? We have one right there.
Hi everyone, my name is Desiree Malcolm. I'm also an alumni for Tech Knowledge. And first and foremost, I want to say how much I'm proud of you guys. I attended the cohort with Stephanie and Brittany, but for those of you who know my story about getting to Tech Knowledge, I always talk about the person I worked in the warehouse with who told me I need to get the hell out of there. And that person is Knowledge. So Knowledge, thank you so much for teaching me that. So my question for you guys is, I meet a lot of people that do take courses, learn a new skill, but they get stuck because they're scared of the transition. What would you say is something that helped you as far as advice, a tool, person, place, or thing that can help others make that transition?
As far as make the transition into getting a job?
Yeah.
Okay. From taking the course, correct?
Yes.
From like
Okay.
another industry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that, one, just using the resources that she mentioned in community. I don't know if Bridget's here, but shout out to Bridget. She helped me with my resume and things like that, and then even the connections that you get through technology, like with Kaseya and other companies and things like that. So I would just say when you have that community of people that you can be able to leverage and use their resources with, like that makes it a lot easier for you to be able to take that jump. And then as well as like, you know, there might be other courses out there, but again, as she mentioned, people like Hillman that really go to war for people and really make sure that people are being represented in those spaces is just powerful.
That's a great question. I'm going to tell you a little secret. Even at big companies like the ones I work, nobody knows 100% what they're doing. So if you don't know what you're doing at your first job, do not be scared. However, spend some time learning and asking the people who do know or pretend to know. So if you're afraid of transitioning, don't. Like even for me, I manage a team of like 6 people now. They're amazing at what they do. I don't know half of what they do, but I'm telling you, I ask them so many questions, they're probably tired of me. Point is, I'm never gonna know 100%, but I need to have a good grasp of what they're doing, what my team is doing. So just be curious and learn as you go. Don't be afraid to start. Everybody starts somewhere. When I entered tech, I wanted to go to a PhD. No idea what tech was. I didn't even wanted to work at a big firm. I wanted to go straight to school, get a PhD, and be living in India. I don't know. So don't be scared. Just do it, like go in and learn as you go, and then obviously like access the resources that you have.
I'm going to give a little two-parter here. Someone I know and respect very much, and who actually helps, I like to help out with the tech sales class as well. They said, don't be afraid to fail forward. Meaning, do not be afraid to fail, because guess what? You're going to fail. You're going to fail. Expect it. Expect failure. Expect rejection. Get comfortable with it. Because guess what? You got to push past it. At the end of the day, when it comes to transitioning into tech sales, you don't got to be a wizard. I honestly, when I heard about this course, I was like, what the heck am I going to do in tech sales? I can barely work my iPhone. So, you know, I didn't think it was something suitable for me. Now, the one thing I would say, and the second part is going into the tech sales class, know what you're good at, right? I knew I'm damn good at sales. I'm like, you know, I might not know anything about tech or iPhones or any of that stuff, but I knew I could sell. I knew I had years of experience selling. I knew that I had years of experience building connections with people and being able to set that rapport. And that was something fairly easy for me. So go in there, know what your strengths are, and then explore what opportunities are available to you, knowing what you want. You know, I'm in this position here and I'm kind of like, you know, learning my way through it a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm confident that I'll be able to succeed because I have experience in sales. I know that I kick ass at getting sales done. So I know I'm an asset. I went into that maybe not knowing what the role entailed, but I knew that I had strengths. I knew that I came with experience, and I leaned into that. I'm willing to fail forward. I'm willing to hear the no's or I'm not interested, because I know at the end of the day, I got this.
Awesome. We have time for one more question if there is one. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Just want to say you guys are all commendable and congratulations. And they say in our industry that it takes, you're going to get about 10 no's before you actually get a yes, right? So early in your careers, how do you plan on handling those objections, right? So that you don't give up, like you said. Curious to how each of you handle those objections and hopefully get a sale at the end of that 9th or 10th time that you get no's and it turns into a yes, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember when I first started, like my first week, I didn't get a deal at all, and I was like frustrated, like really frustrated. And I had to just really understand. We always say too, you don't want to personalize the objections though, because you don't want to take it and make it seem like, oh, this person doesn't want to buy, or oh, I don't have the money, or whatever they might tell you, and make it like personal to yourself. And that's sometimes how we can do it, when you just got to step outside of the way and realize like most of the time objections are just complaints, right? Like until it's validated, isolated, validated, and you understand like that's really an objection, it's really just a complaint that they're saying. So one thing is just getting good at isolating what the real objection is, and that's something that we work on and look to master, is that they can say money, time, this, and this, but until you say like, is there any other reason why you would do this? And if they be like, no, that's the real objection. So just being able to understand what the real objection is, and then it's like, oh, it's the money. Okay, we can solve the money problem. Is there any other reason why you move forward right now? No. All right, bet. Now it's up to you as a salesperson to solve the money problem, and that's how you get sales. So I would say just not personalizing it as well, but then also too, like we like to say, you only get no's because you don't know something. So just take that time to just get better at understanding how to handle objections. What can I do better in fact finding and asking the right questions? Because the close should be easy. So if you find and fact find like the why, what they need this for, why right now, right? Like why are you doing this right now? Why'd you even get on the call today? Like, because people can show up and they don't even know when they got on the call. But when you ask them that, then it's like, man, I got on the call for this reason. And they kind of tell you where they are. I'm just asking those right questions. So I would say just being able to learn more about the sales process, from the greeting to the fact finding, to the presentation, to the close, to even trial closing. Scale of 1 to 10, where are you at right now? So you might think this person a 10 and saying, oh, I'm at a 5. Okay, we'll take it from a 5 to a 10. Oh, well, this takes it from a 10. Okay, good. So you just gotta like really go through that whole process. But once you do the process of learning that, it just makes the process so much easier to handle those no's and handle those objections, and then you'll start getting less of those because you have mastered the sales process.
I'm gonna say something that sounds a little crazy, but I love no's. I love no's. Please do not waste my time. Let's not waste your time. If you don't see the value in what I'm telling you and how I can help you, then let's not waste each other's time. Move out the way for somebody that sees what my company offers and the value in it. I currently work with Ghost Sprout, and I absolutely love what they're doing. They actually have developed software to streamline apprenticeship programs. So that in itself, being able to sell a product that I believe in, yeah, get out of my way. Like, if you don't see the value in it, there's a ton of other people that will. I know I have a good product. I know I'm of value to you. So yeah, let's not waste each other's time. I know that probably sounds crazy, but give me the no's. Move out the way so I can get to the yeses.
For me, it's actually a combination of the two. So when I'm negotiating, big contracts, multi-million-dollar contracts, I'm the product. Sure, there's software, but I'm also the product as a consultant. So if you don't see the value in me and what I can bring to your organization, I don't want to chase that down because I know my stuff and I know the value that I bring. But at the same time, I think when you start taking things less personally, this might sound a little crazy, but sometimes I think about it as a game. Like probabilities game, right? The more no's I get, the faster I get to a yes. So I think the combination of standing your ground and knowing what you bring as a service, plus taking it as not as personal, it's a good combination to get through those no's because you'll get a lot of them. So I think for me, that's the key.
Awesome. Please give a round of applause for our and you can stay up here and we're going to bring up Travis Mack. And he's going to tell us a little bit about himself and his background and a special surprise he has for us. Please give a round of applause for him and his team.
Well, I'm not Travis, I hope you can tell. But my name is Tyler Anderson. I'm co-director of development for the Mack Foundation. So I'm going to kick it off here before introducing Travis so he can speak a little bit about how he got connected with Tech Knowledge and Tech Tuesdays and why we're here today. But for the Mack Foundation, where you guys are doing the work here at Tech Knowledge at the source, and for us, we want to find where the people are doing the work, the people are doing the job, where there's a need, and where we can come in with the resources. And so kudos to you all. This is my second time at Tech Tuesdays. I'm gonna start coming more. It's a great community, like you all mentioned. Great people to meet. I'm from South Florida, born and raised, a few of us in here. Woo-hoo. But it's been so beautiful the past few years to see the growth in the community that has started to spawn post-COVID. A lot of people moving down here, and so definitely continue to support this. So without further ado, Mr. Travis Mack. So outside of being the founder of the Mack Foundation, he is the CEO of the Salix Corporation Aerospace and Defense Company. What are we up to now? 800 million, lots of hundreds of millions, 1,200 employees nationwide. Also CEO and chairman of the Vallejo Networks, an IT multi-service provider, and has over too many companies, too much, employees, but a successful operator, CEO, a person who believes in technology, a person who believes in community, in the future, and giving back. So without further ado, Mr. Travis Smith.
All right, y'all gotta wake up now. We in here. Hillman, we in here, right? This is what we want to do, right? This is what we want to do. And so, look, I'm going to talk real briefly and just share some information about what technology means to me. I think I had the opportunity to go and speak in front of these wonderful individuals right here. I hope I left some kind of impression and that it was beneficial. But at the end of the day, here's what this is all about. So you're all sitting in this room so we can better ourselves, right? Right? That's what we're doing. Right? Yeah. Audience participation is mandatory. All right? You're all sitting in here because you want to better yourselves, right? And we are all here to help each and every last one of you sitting in here better yourselves. I mean, we got the city of Miami here with MJ Green, and you know what? You want some incentives about downtown, what you want to do in downtown Miami, that's the guy to go talk to. I'm going to point him out. Right there, right? Of course, you got Hillman, who has years and years of experience in the venture space and starting and running multiple businesses. Myself, I've had the fortune of running, not only aerospace and defense companies, IT companies, private equity funds. So you know what? We're here. And where's Ted? Is Ted around? Is Ted around? Okay. You got Brian Swift back there as well. And so we have a multitude of individuals that are here to help. You should talk to us. You should be in my face. Who went and spoke to everybody in this room when they got here? I did. I tried to meet everybody in here and tried to work the room. Did anyone else do it?
You didn't meet me.
I tried. My bad. Next time. I got you right now. My point to that is this is about building a community. This is about talking to each other. Our issue is we don't talk to each other. We don't do business with each other. Now, if you're sensitive, my bad. But that's the truth. And so we got to do better. So you need to make sure that when you leave here, your objective is to talk and speak and coordinate and conversate with somebody in this room that looks like you. All right? So with that said, I think we have something to give away. Is that accurate?
Yes.
All right, let's do it then. Let's do it. So when Ted asked me, Ted and I have a bond. And that bond is, the first time that we met each other, we said we are through talking. We do enough talking, folks, right? We gotta take action. We have to do something. I'm sick of talking. If you're gonna come and all we're gonna do is chit chat, that's wonderful, but you know what? I got other things to do. So we want to help. And what Ted Hillman, what Ted is doing and what Hillman is doing with the Source Group and what Ted Lucas is doing with technology is really important because these are the seeds, right? These individuals back here are the seeds. And if we just keep putting the seeds in the ground and if we just keep watering them, but you can't water them if you don't have the resources. So today we want to give, right, from the Mack Foundation, technology, $10,000. I'm tired of talking. I'm sick of talking. And so, Hillman, you know I appreciate you, brother. Tell Ted we want to do this. This is going to allow for more students to go through this program because it is a worthy program. And we're excited to be a part of this and excited to be helping. And you know what? We're going to continue to help. All right? All right? That's all I got.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Travis, there's something else that you also do with some of our graduates. Remember a little program you got for hiring people? Going back over there.
All right. Yeah, doesn't work.
Don't leave that out. The man provides jobs.
No, we're here for jobs. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to make connections so you can go and you can work. Now listen, we're going to give the opportunities. We're going to continue to talk. It may not work out on the first time. And it may not work out on the second time. But I guarantee you, you've made an impression. And I will advocate for you at the highest levels of my organizations, right? Which is over $200 million combined with all of my entities. And so that's the point. You're here to make connections. Now, you know me. You're going to walk into my office and I'm going to say, yeah, I know Brittany. Absolutely. And I'm going to tell my team that, you know what, this is an individual that deserves for us to take a look at. And that's the point. That is the point, to build that. And so we certainly want to keep giving jobs in the tech community, cyber, cloud solutions, you name it. Like help desk. We have a gentleman here that's interested in help desk. You think we're going to talk to him. So those are really important things. And so I'm just really jazzed to be here. I hope you can see the enthusiasm because this is what it's all about right here.